The Raleigh housing market has heated up again, but is it hot everywhere? I'm Alison Wojnarowski with the W Real Estate Group, and in this video, we will break down the greater Raleigh, North Carolina housing market as it stands today in July of 2023. But we also want to hear from you, so make sure you comment on your experiences below. All right, let's take a look at the data. If we look at Wake County as a whole, where Raleigh and most of its suburbs reside, you'll notice a few things right off the bat. First, the number of new listings in June of 2023 compared to last year at this time is down over 30%. Interest rates have stayed high so far this year, so fewer people are moving around within the region itself, as people are waiting until the interest rates hopefully drop back down to move. Next, you'll see that the sales prices versus the list prices are back to around 100% from around 104% last year, as well as the days on market has increased from 7 to 16. This is consistent with what our team has seen as well, as homes are sitting on the market for a little bit longer and fewer homes are seeing multiple offers drive up the prices significantly above the asking price like we saw over the last couple of years. Now, if you drill down further into the data, you'll see what you would expect. The homes in the more sought after areas, especially those that are newer or updated, are more likely to receive multiple offers during the first weekend, with the sales price going above asking. However, other areas are seeing the market return to a more normal balanced status, which balances out the competition seen in the hotter areas. We will take a look at which areas are seeing the competition in a moment. Lastly, you'll notice the average sales price has increased by nearly 5%, while the median sales price has stayed relatively constant. This is pretty typical to see, but it's an indication that there are still quite a few homes below $500,000 on the market, but the area's overall prices, especially in the luxury market, continue to increase. We have definitely seen a rise in the luxury homes constructed, which is both newly developed construction as well as tearing down old homes in existing neighborhoods and building new. So it makes sense that our average sales price is rising, as these higher priced homes are way above the average, thus driving it up. Those are the main takeaways from the area as a whole, but let's take a look at the market in Raleigh itself, as well as its suburbs, to see where the most competitive areas are. Raleigh remains competitive and has seen one of the biggest jumps overall in its average sales price at nearly 12% over the past year, despite its median sales price staying the same. As mentioned, I believe a large attributing factor to that, beyond just overall price increases in the area, is the rise in the number of teardowns replaced with new construction that we're seeing in places like North Hills and North Ridge. You'll see though that Raleigh is consistent with the entire region and the rising days on market at 17, with the sales price to list price ratio right at 100%. But competition in Raleigh remains high for homes in the more popular areas, especially if it's updated and, more importantly, priced right. We have seen homes that should have sold quickly sit on the market longer than they should have because they were priced too high out of the gate, while those that are priced right for the market are many times receiving multiple offers with the potential of the home going above the list price. So if you're a buyer, it's still important for you to be adequately prepared and ready to offer when seriously viewing homes so you don't miss out. And if you see one that's been sitting for a little while, it may not be because something is wrong with it, but just that it was priced too high originally. So there are room for negotiations here. I would also say the number of home inspection and appraisal waivers seen on offers is not nearly as common as last year, as the market has dictated room for negotiation on major repairs if found during inspections. And while due diligence amounts are higher than what we've seen historically, your average amounts are around 1 to 2% of the list price, which is much lower than the crazy numbers we saw during COVID. Now let's take a quick look at some of Raleigh's suburbs, and we'll start off with the ones that have the highest competition still. For those familiar with the area, I'm sure you guessed, Cary and Apex remain the two major suburbs with the highest competition due to their proximity to the Research Triangle Park. The average sales prices did not increase significantly at just 2% over the past year, but their prices have always been highest in the area, and they remain that way. Their days on market are the lowest at around 11, and their sales prices are 1% over asking on average. So you're seeing homes go over asking more often than not. There are fewer new construction options in these suburbs, with the exception being on the western edges of town, which overall reduces inventory in the area and has driven up the competition. Couple that with them being in a highly desirable destination given their prime locations, you get the highest competition in the area. Now again, don't be discouraged as it's not anything like what we've seen over the last couple years, but buyers still have to be ready to act. And if going after the more sought after homes, be prepared to pay over asking and put closer to 2 to 3% down for due diligence. On the other side, we aren't quite seeing the same competition that we were used to seeing in suburbs like Wake Forest, Holly Springs, and even Fuquay-Varina. You'll see some fluctuations this year, but overall a static and almost slight downward trend in average sales prices, higher days on market, and sales prices less than the original list price. These areas are in great locations, but not necessarily the absolute prime locations of the triangle. And couple that with them having a higher volume of new construction inventory, naturally there will be less competition overall. So that's not to say that buyers have all the power here, because that's not the case. And buyers still have to be ready to act on the best homes. But there is a little more room for negotiation and fewer multiple offer situations than Cary, Apex, and Raleigh. And lastly, Garner, Clayton, and Knightdale remain affordable relative to the triangle as a whole and have the least amount of competition compared to the rest of the area. Sales prices remain below the area's average, and they have some of the higher days on market in the area, leading to less competition. While these areas may not be the ideal locations for some, they remain great options for many and provide some fairly affordable options. So to sum things up, the Raleigh area market is certainly still competitive, but it's not like the level we've seen over the last couple of years. Buyers need to do their research, know what they want, and still be ready to act. Sellers, since homes aren't selling like they were in COVID, it's important to price your home right for the market, which I know can be hard for many, and make your home look as beautiful as possible so it shows well right off the bat. If you would like to talk further about your specific situation, please don't hesitate to reach out, as we would love to help you. I hope this video was helpful, and remember to let us know what your thoughts and experiences are in the comments below. I'm Alison Wojnarowski, and thank you for watching. We'll see you in our next video.